Obviously, first off, happy, proud. Um, Obviously, it clearly could have gone a different direction there in the second half, but a great learning opportunity for us to recognize that a team like that, especially, is going to put their foot on the gas and keep going, but the cushion that was built was earned. I thought the guys did a great job sharing the ball, great defensive possessions that led to a lot of really good offensive possessions in the first half, and then second half we just couldn't seem to get five guys going at the same time, except for just a few minute stretch there after they cut it to four. So something to watch, recognize, but it's one of those things that hopefully this can be a confidence builder for us, because we've had some setbacks and our confidence has been shaken from time to time. And but to hold on and get the win and get off to a good start in conference play is all that matters. So we're extremely excited about it and getting ready for another very unique challenge coming up.
You guys did a good job on the defensive glass, even with Cherry, kind of limited with minutes. What was the difference there for you guys?
Just I think intent. We talked last time after Riverside about word is out that people are going to question our toughness and they're going to challenge our toughness, which is defensive rebounding is not about anything other than being tough and physical, and we did a good job there. I thought Elijah Price is one of the most elite offensive rebounders, not just on the West Coast, but in the country. So I thought the guys in the 3 days of prep leading up to it did a really good job of just focusing their attention on, having good defensive possessions, but finishing them with clean rebounds. And, when we went on that run in the first half, I thought, and I think when we watch the film, that's what's going to stand out the most, that we just had good defensive possessions, good defensive rebounds, and we were able to run out.
He alluded to Cherry being limited. How do you kind of talk, converse about something like that and build on it, learn from it, so that maybe you avoid situations like that going forward?
Like during the game, or just like tonight or tomorrow?
Also, just like maybe tonight going forward.
Yeah, with during the game, it's something that we've got to figure out because a lot of it's protection, right? He gets that first one depending on the minute mark. Like tonight, it was right before the media, so that's more of a normal substitution. Last game, I think he got his first one at 18 or so, and that kind of changes what you like to do with that rotation. But just like everybody, even Bedford, he goes out there and gets two quick ones, and more times than not, those early ones are avoidable, and that's what we just got to watch film on and get reps in during practice so that we can avoid the ones that just don't make sense, right? Whether we're not in a stance, whether we're not where we need to be, just those little ones right there that, because having too early versus one is just such a big difference in how the rotation goes and how you can get your minutes and get a good flow in the game. So, but Bedford did a good job tonight when he had two going back in there, not really changing his aggression level, but at the same time not picking up a third one. And Bear, again, we don't mind guys fouling out, right? That's not the end of the world. Good defensive teams will have guys foul out from time to time. It's but you can still avoid a hand check. You can still avoid an over the back, or just these little things. And Bear's been such a sponge this, so far this season, and when he got here in the summer and the fall, that he's going to be excited to watch it and figure out how he can avoid one or two of those going forward.
And then you mentioned that second half run is kind of a learning opportunity for what a team like Fresno State is capable of. But they did, I guess, they kind of lost their leading scorer in the lead up to this game. How does something like that affect the scout and how you prepare for a matchup like this?
Yeah, it's something when you have somebody as aggressive as Aguilar was, you spend some time talking about him and watching him and figuring out how to limit him as best you can. But they did play the last game, so it's just one of those where you got to know the personnel, you got to know what they're trying to do, you got to know the intent of the actions, where they're at, and again in the first half I thought we did a great job. You had clean switches and did a good job boxing out and finishing possessions, but we kind of let them get going. They're a team that does really well kind of building each other's confidence, and as we saw there in the second half, Jasir Trimble comes out and makes some big shots. And, of course, Jalen Weaver, he plays so hard all the time. And when he gets his confidence going, he's a really good player. And they do a really good job of that. I think they're as much as anybody a team now seeing them live, especially that they really lift each other up. They root for each other. And they're going to be a team that just keeps getting better as the year goes on.
So first of 20 conference games for you guys. What have you told the players, especially the transfers who haven't been through the Mountain West before? What do you tell them about, some of these trips, some of these venues, some of these opponents are going to be playing for the next few months?
We got to keep the same mentality of being the underdog and going into each 2-day prep the same as it's been good for us, or the same as it's been when it's good for us. And we've been locked in, focused in the film room a lot. A lot of good conversation there about getting ready because we're not just getting. Of course, it's just game 2 in this process, but it's also game 2 at Air Force, which is a unique prep. So, but they need to communicate. They need to talk. They need to help each other get ready. But most conferences, I think, across the country are kind of a similar game structure to us. So here in the Mountain West, so it's just kind of more of the same right now. They need to get home, get their rest, eat right, get some sleep because tomorrow morning when we meet, they've got to be as mentally sharp as we've been all year.
And then you were on staff when Zayon Collins committed here, and then he obviously had his legal issues. Any thoughts on him just playing at this level again and facing him and him being back in Las Vegas now?
Yeah, I mean he's happy to see him playing. I think he's a good basketball player. He was a great kid. When I had the opportunity to be a part of recruiting him and his family, and so he's somebody who's going to have a lot of good basketball in front of him.
Coach, initial assessment. I know you got to watch the film, but what went wrong, in your opinion, to start the second half that way after you had such a successful first half and then really kind of came out flat? I mean, they definitely fed off each other, but what went wrong and what do you do to prevent that in the future?
Way too timid. I mean, just it's as simple as that. Way too timid. We did not go out there like it was 0-0. And I know it's a cliche, and as a player, you hate it because it's not 0-0. But we did not take that same approach to what built that lead. And that was something that fortunately we were able to still finish with the win because like I said, it was going the wrong direction there for a little bit, and we just seemed to be stuck in third gear, and until all 5 guys kind of picked up their pace a little bit and we went on another good run, but it was not looking good, and so that's kind of the learning experience from it. Hopefully next game and the game after and the remaining 19, we have an 18-point lead at half to kind of try it again. But, it's something that, again, it's a good group of guys. We play hard, but we were just way too timid coming out in that second half. We didn't have the level of aggression we needed, and we certainly didn't have we didn't put enough emphasis on getting back in transition because that was clearly the difference there in those first 10 minutes of the second half.
You built that big lead, and a lot of it was in transition. I know you mentioned the defense, gave credit for the defense, but what did you like about Uptempo Basketball and the way you guys handled and distributed?
The way we shared it, undoubtedly. I thought we had as many, in the first half we were 17 of 23 when the ball touched the paint. And that's been the tale of this team so far. When we drive and kick and we make plays for each other and we get down into the paint, we usually have pretty good offensive possessions. But we shared it. I think it's probably our season high. If it's not, it's right there in assists. Almost 2-1 as a team is a pretty good night. But yeah, I mean, a lot of those transition opportunities and those drive and kick opportunities were created by good defensive possessions. And that's, again, kind of when you look at the other side of the coin, we just didn't have those in the second half. We just kind of hoped they missed, and they didn't. And in the first half, I thought we did a good job of making them miss. We actually had a number of times, we talked about at halftime as a staff, where we had 3 guys going to the ball, which in help defense, which you never want, but it's still better than having nobody go help. And we kind of balanced that out in the second half. But it'll be a great, quick film session tomorrow with a lot of positivity because that first half was undoubtedly, I think, one of the better ones we've had this season, and we need to carry over that feeling and how we did that.
DJ took some really deep threes, and I think he made at least one of them. But make or miss, what does that do when he's firing from, say, 23 in terms of opening up the offense?
Yeah, I think, we right now, the way DJ, Julian, Bedford, the way they're shooting it, we want them to take open looks. We want them to shoot as many catch and shoot threes with clean catches as they can. Again, with a paint touch, the numbers are pretty drastic for us. But that being said, paint touch and driving kicks, post feeds and kickouts, if our bigs can't make a move at the hoop, are where we thrive. But those three guys have made a living so far this year on those clean catch and shoots from three, and that's something that we need to continue to do going forward, because the way those three guys are shooting the ball right now and the way the guys are getting into the paint, that's the recipe for success for us on the offensive side.
Sorry, last one. Just Pop. I think this is like his season high tonight, and he seems to be a crowd favorite now with the 3-pointers and the dunks. Can you just talk about what you're seeing from him in terms of development as a freshman?
Yeah, he's had unbelievable growth. At the beginning of the year, we knew he's talented, but he hadn't played a lot of basketball. He spent, even when he was in high school over here playing, he spent a lot of time injured. And so to get those reps in the summer and the fall, and we knew he was talented. We know he's skilled. The best part about him is if you go tell him to stand right here, he's going to go stand right here. There's no question about it. There's no why. I'm going to stand right here until you explain what's going on next. And that's why he's a ton of fun to be around. But just to be honest, especially with Rob coming back and his ability to play the 4 and the 5 and his experience, it was kind of one of those things where we were very hopeful for Pop to get him some minutes early and see what he could do. But now that Rob, has been out and is out, he's done nothing short of stepped in and played as hard as he can and been a great positive for us. And it's only going to help him in the future, getting all these reps right now. And it's creating a really good 1-2 punch at that 5 spot for us with him and Bear.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, y'all.
They cut it to 4 points a couple times in the second half. You guys pushed it back double digits. What do you think made the difference during those stretches when you guys were able to regain control?
This is the start of conference, so it's expected to have pushback. I think the biggest thing for us was just staying together as a team. We had a very tough non-conference schedule to get us prepared for this, so we just kept our heads and just kept playing our game.
And only 6 offensive rebounds allowed. How big of a key was that for you guys over the break and then coming into this game?
That was huge for us. Over the past few games, we struggled with that, and obviously they had Elijah Price out there who's probably top 5 in the country in offensive rebounding, so that was definitely the biggest key for us.
For both of you guys, first, Jaden, how are you feeling confidence-wise on offense? Because it looked like you were attacking a little more tonight.
I'm definitely feeling confident. My teammates always instill confidence in me to be aggressive out there, and I always instill my teammates to be aggressive out there, so I'm feeling pretty good.
How much do you think the injury kind of took away from you at the start of the season where you had to kind of catch up?
Obviously, it wasn't ideal. No one expects to have a foot injury especially, so it definitely was a little bit of a mental block for me, but my teammates kept me in it, the coaching staff kept me in it, so it felt pretty good to be back out there.
And for Bedford, how did you feel tonight? Where are you right now, confidence-wise, offensively?
I think we played very well. We played, really collective with each other. What we do well is we play ball, so we move the ball around, we pass. We took some open, great shots, and that's what we did well. We pushed the ball, got some rebounds. We did 19-6 on the rebound, so that was really good. So I'm really confident, especially over this game, and then, looking forward to the end of the season, conference season.
For both of you, you just talk about the importance of starting conference play this way, getting a win, getting, being 1-0 and kind of a restart and having that win to start things off.
It's huge for us, obviously getting off to a good start. The whole team has a lot of confidence in being able to win the conference and get into the tournament. That's the main goal. So, us starting 1-0 is great for us.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.